standing there in slow motion with the cape flapping, and you know, showed it to the studio and said like, right? And they were like, yeah, it's pretty, yeah, it's cool. Watchmen, yes, it's a complete deconstruction.
Flapping,
like you took the entire thing apart, the car. You took it completely apart. And then in Man of Steel, the thing was put the car back together now. That concept kind of goes across the entirety of the DC, of my DC run, in the sense that it was an exercise in construction and deconstruction and construction.
We noticed, Zach. We all have noticed over the years.
Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause.
Comic Plus, what is going on? Akasan here. Let's go ahead and take a look. I got a heart rate pulse monitor thing running right now. That's what you guys are looking at. Man, let's let's go ahead. We're gonna experiment with something because recently Zack Snyder has kind of been the talk of the internet as he's gone along doing some promotion to Army of the Dead, which I'm actually looking very much forward to. Because, you know, for a lot of people, that was where they basically discovered Zack Snyder with Dawn of the Dead, man. Like, or Watchmen. I think for me, it was Dawn of the Dead. With most other people, like possibly it was Watchmen. So, I think he did Dawn of the Dead, right? I could have sworn that was like how his whole beginnings and everything, and which I quite enjoyed. So I'm actually very curious and very interested to see what his take on Army of the Dead, what he's kind of putting together, and to see if the visionary director, if he still has it, if he still got it. Rest in peace to Logan Swish over on Twitter and his mentions, who watched Army of the Dead and did not enjoy it at all, and Adam Havoc, who said that from Heroes Unrested or Heroes Reforged or something like that, who said, thank God he had 4 mimosas before getting into this movie. Because whoosh, he said. And, you know, I respect both of their opinions as well, but I'm going to see what my take on it. It really does look like Suicide Squad, like a better version of Suicide Squad, if Zack Snyder essentially did Suicide Squad, but with zombies. But we'll see. Anyways, he's talking about his illustrious career. Let's see how many shots he takes at Warner Brothers, because you know, the majority of his movies are done through Warner Brothers. So let's see. Here we go.
Even when I was in high school, I would tell people I'm going to be a movie director, and they'd be
Let's
like,
be
okay.
civil in the comments
That's
section,
great,
everybody.
That's a great goal. My dad was definitely not into it as a career choice. He was like, okay, that's cute, but then when you get your real job, what's that going to be? Hi guys, I'm Zack Snyder, and this is the timeline of my career.
Yeah, you did, dude. Love is a crime. Wow.
I'm trying to remember if Love is a Crime was the first. I think I might have still been in school when I did that video. I did look at it the other day. It was like, wow, what the hell is that? Did I really do that? Clearly I needed the money. I have very little recollection of it other than I know that even for me in film school, there was no money. There was no budget. Yeah. I just remember going, I don't know if I can film a thing for this amount of money. I'll try. I don't know where we're gonna get a model who will do it for this amount of money. Those things you want. Between Lizzie Borden and Dawn of the Dead, there's hundreds of TV commercials and dozens and dozens of music videos. And better ones than that, I might say. I did a bunch of kind of cool music videos as well along the way.
I would like to know. I would like to know what music videos that he did, because that would be very interesting. I mean, say what you will about Zack Snyder and his take on the DC heroes and such. You cannot dispute the fact that he does have talent in terms of directing. I would say earlier in his career, a little less than now. But I don't know. It's hard to say because we've been so focused on his DC work. But you know, he understands the importance of. As I freeze framed him, looking like Rick Grimes from Walking Dead right now. But he understands the importance of the clarity of IMAX and how to shoot a particular way. Most of the time, I would say most of the time. Recently, sometimes, I don't know. And from what I'm hearing with Army of the Dead, maybe not. But let's see. I would love to see some of those music videos. I know he did a movie on an iPhone, actually, as well. All right.
Got better, I guess is the point.
There you go. This was the big one. For me, at least. With that tight
Now, up to that point, I also had, I was attached to Mage, which is a comic book that I didn't do at Disney. I was going to direct the SWAT movie at Sony, but I quit because they wanted to make it rated PG-13, and I was like, no, can't do it. And I had 300 already, had shopped around 300 and been told no. After I quit SWAT, Dawn of the Dead came along and I was eager, and I really thought I was like, this I can do. I felt like the tone was really interesting to me, this kind of combination of have fun but don't make fun. Be reverent to the genre, but also push it. The kind of deep dive, Easter eggs, multi-layered. We took a lot of careful time on everything and all the backgrounds. And
I wonder who put out Dawn of the Dead.
You know, drawing like crazy to get all the, you know, to storyboard this movie.
Which studio?
And at the time, I didn't even share really those storyboards with a lot of the people because I didn't even know that was how you did it. I just do it for myself. I had been a director cameraman for 11 years and had seen every possible scenario from sort of a production standpoint. I was intimidated though by the machine and the length of the schedule and the cast, and you know, that part made me nervous. I felt confident that I could make a cool kind of movie out of it.
Anybody know who put out Dawn of the Dead? Oh, there you go, ZZ Top. So he did a music video with ZZ Top. That's kind of cool. I gotta check that out. I'm trying to figure out who produced, who distributed Dawn of the Dead, because IDMB is not giving me the information that I wanted immediately. So, yeah, if somebody can look that up for me, that'd be great. I want to keep going here. This is his best.
See, old friend.
This is still his best to date.
300 happened. I basically, I shopped it to Warner Brothers, and they said that they had a movie called Troy.
Right.
And that it was a sword and sandals movie. And they said, like, here's the thing we have in our movie. We have a guy named, I don't know if you've known, his name's Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. Yeah.
And so and you have what now? A comic book? That's cute. So no. After Dawn's was successful and people seemed to like it, that's what started the process of 300. And we shot a test because no one knew what, when I said it's going to look just like the comic
I remember
book,
this test.
they were like, yeah, but where in Greece are we filming?
Yeah,
I'm like, we're not filming in Greece. We're filming just against the green screen. And they were like, what? No, that's going to be horrible. I shot a test to show them what it would look like. And I even think after I showed it to them, they weren't sure what, they were like, okay, you could go try that. And I really was happy with the way it turned out. I mean, to this day, you know, people are like, 300 is crazy. I've been a lifelong fitness fanatic. And I think that has a lot to do with like, even just sort of the physical representation of men and women in my movies. I really like them to be sort of.
We noticed.
We noticed, Zach. Way. Just aesthetique is very important to me when it comes to that sort of physicality. So yeah, we train pretty hard. And we've trained in all the movies. Like, there's always a gym. We always build a gym on set, and we invite everyone to work out if they want. Mark Twight, who trained the guys, he always said it was like, there was some psychological warfare that went on, even beyond, like when I left, I was like, okay, I don't even want to know about that. That looks like a lot of painful stuff happening.
They call me Dr. Manhattan. They explain the name has been chosen for the ominous associations it will raise in America's enemies.
The Manhattan Project.
I'm a huge fan of the graphic novel. It's probably the greatest graphic novel ever written. I knew the material, and when they asked me, I just felt like, I was like, yike, you know, that's a big, if you were religious, it would be like someone saying, we should make the Bible into a movie. What do you think? and you might just be like, I don't know. The thing was, I was sure they were going to make the movie anyway,
Right.
with or without me. There was just
True.
a lot of things in it that I was like, oh, it's not really correct, the graphic novel. And so the process that I went through when I said I would do it was kind of trying to reinsert as much of the graphic novel back into it as possible in a sort of subversive way over time, which has become now like a hallmark of my career. I really love it, and I think it's a bit of a cult classic now.
Yeah,
the
you know,
movie that's probably was made 10 years before it should have been made, based on what it says about the genre. I was making it based on this comic book genre, right? Not the movie genre necessarily, but the movies have caught up to it. I really just want to reach out to Alan
That's a
Moore
good point.
and I think I really need to have a coffee with him at some point and just explain myself.
I mean, Alan Moore is, Alan Moore is something else in general. Alan Moore doesn't want anybody to make movies out of his shit. So it's like, regardless, Zack did the best he could adapting that. I think that was the closest you're ever going to get to trying to adapt that to some form of a movie or what have you not. But Alan Moore is somewhere in a cabin somewhere, shit in his hair, and just, yeah, man, he's something else, praying to the lizard people. But it's weird what happens. We talked about it earlier with comic book writers and where they are now. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one. Sucker Punch. The movie that suddenly made Warner Brothers be like, wait, what? Uh-oh, wait a second. Hold on. Should we really be giving you Man of Steel here? Baby Doll.
That was
like
the movie I
Sucker
wrote with my
Punch.
friend Steve Shibuya, and Steve and I had been talking about the movie for a long time, actually, because the movie to me is people don't acknowledge it, but it's a protest movie in a lot of ways.
What?
It's a movie about genre. Like I was asked at the time, like, why did you dress the girls like that? And I always go, I didn't dress them like that, you did. I always saw it as an indictment of, in some ways, of like, popular culture.
Oh,
I think
no.
at the time, I was criticized for it being the
Sorry, okay, I ran out of recording space. Okay. Let's hope this stream goes through. Let's keep going.
opposite, like some sort of sexist like rant, but it was fun to make and I still love it to this day. That was the first time where I really faced like a true radical restructuring of a film for it to be more commercial. And there is a director's cut of that movie that has yet to be released. I'll say that out loud.
Oh my God, don't get him started. Don't get him started.
My friend Christopher Nolan
Here we go.
called me and said,
Why did
hey
he say
Zach,
it like that? Nolan.
would you have any interest in making a Superman movie? David Goyer and I wrote a script, a Superman script, and I don't think I want to do it. Do you have any interest in it? And I was like, yes, yeah.
So that's why
he
it felt
sent the
like
script over, and I read it.
a
and
Nolan
it was cool. He
movie
had
in
seen
the
Watchmen
beginning.
and really enjoyed it. I began the process of Man of Steel and casting a Superman and trying to say like, what is Superman for now, for us, for our generation? Like, what is Superman going to be? I'm like, here's the guy I want to play Superman. His name's Henry Cavill. And then I did the best I could. I would like filmed him with his cape on, with like flary cool backgrounds. I had him standing there in slow motion with the cape flapping, and showed it to the studio and said like, right? And they were like, yeah, it's cool. Watchmen, yes, it's a complete deconstruction.
flapping,
Like
he
you
said
took
it.
the entire thing apart, the car. You took it completely apart. And then in Man of Steel, the thing was put the car back together now. That concept kind of goes across the entirety of my DC run, in the sense that it was an exercise in construction and deconstruction and construction.
We noticed, Zach. We all have noticed over the years. Yep. Oh boy. All right. Well, we're about to get into the thick of things here. Let's go.
We're going to take the entire thing apart in BVS and to put the thing back together in Justice League, and then take it apart again and then put it back together again. That was kind of the way we saw the whole thing going.
Hello. Good. Hi. Hello.
How did that all
It is a
work out?
pleasure. Ow! Wow, that is a good grip. You should not pick a fight with this person. So, after all these years, we finally got you over to Metropolis.
We imagined that there would be a world possibly where there would be a sequel to Man of Steel. And I think when, after the movie came out, and there was this discussion of going ahead with a sequel, it was pretty early in the process that we were like, going to bring Batman into the movie. Once you say that out loud, like we should have Batman in the movie, it's hard to put that back in that toothpaste back in the tube, you know? Because they're like, well, we should have a cooler guy than Batman. And then that doesn't exist, so you're kind of stuck with Batman now. Ben Affleck, you don't really need to pitch. It was more me convincing Ben that it was a good idea, you know, and he was hesitant, I'll be honest, because, you know, it's Batman, and the internet can be cruel, which it was. It's weird that now, you know, there's a huge cry for Ben Affleck to continue being Batman, which is ironic and fun. Yep. I like the cyclical nature of the internet. It's cool. It's poetic, truly. In BVS, when Ben smashes Superman on the head with the sink and then picks him up and carries him, throws him over the banister, and he lands on all the radiators, for some reason, and that down shot of Henry when Ben drags him out and his cape just goes across the radiators, and I don't know, for some reason that's one of those shots that I've just always loved, and if I hadn't made it, I would have thought it was cool.
I see.
This world needs you.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's go.
Hold your fire! Hold your fire!
When the movie came out in 2017, you know, I was not doing the movie anymore, and they had done the movie. They'd finished the movie without me. I think there was a guy in Wales who walked out of the movie theater and hashtagged and released on that day of release the Snyder Cup, right? On the day of release, that hashtag was used for the first time. 2 years later, on the anniversary of the movie, November 17th again, there was a huge Twitter campaign that had gone on that was joined by Gal and Jason and Ben and Ray.
Yeah.
And to release the Snyder Cut. And that was when I got a call from the studio to say, what is that? What is the reality of releasing the Snyder Cut look like? And that was when I got the smallest inkling that there was a chance that that could be a reality. First thing they said was like, we want to release the Snyder Cut, but just in its raw form, unfinished.
I'm so confused though, because I could have sworn in an article like that I was reading is that they, but maybe that was right around that same time that one of the studio executives were talking. Maybe that's exactly what happened when the studios called them up and they were like, you know, we kind of want to put this out on HBO Max or something. Or, what do you got for us? But let's keep seeing what's up.
On HBO Max. And I was like, no. And I'll tell you why it's a no. It's a no for 3 reasons. 1, if I release the movie, the internet leaves you alone. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. 2, if I release the movie in its raw form, you get all your viewers to HBO Max based on kind of, I don't want to say, just based on this rough version of the movie. And 3, you get to point at the movie and go, see, it's not that good. We were right. Look at how weird it's like. All those like previs and it's horrible. So I was like, that's a hard no. I said, well, can I at least come in and tell you what I think the best version of this would be? And so I went in and just kind of pitched them on finishing the movie correctly and Zack Snyder's Justice League and how we could market it and what it would mean to the fans and all that.
I mean, those are some kind of aggressive answers or excuses. I would have just been like, look, it wasn't finished and I don't want my work and I don't want to be critiqued upon my work in its current form, you know, especially given the fact that he was going on for the longest time saying it's finished, it's done, WB has it, they just won't release it. Like, you know, I don't know, Zack Snyder think he's fooling, but there's a lot, you know, we all know how this story played out with this whole idea of, you know, him saying it's finished, there's an assembly cut, what have you not. Maybe he explains it a little bit more, but okay, let's go.
And then they came over to my house and watched it. No one had ever seen this version of the movie. They were like, okay, we're inclined to do it. And then the truth is, I think that when the pandemic struck, a lot of the visual effects houses went down because they had no thing to work on.
Right.
And we had a finished film. And so the kind of stars aligned and they were like, okay, if we do it right now. And that's how it kind of came to be. And I love the material. And
what he's
so
saying then, yeah.
I'm excited for them when they come on set in their costumes.
All right, so I guess in his mind, or in terms of like there's a finished film in terms of a cut. So it's something that's finished, but the assembly cut, so without the graphics, without the final processing, all that. So it's not really a finished version. But I feel like those words are kind of dangerous to say when you're telling people this is finished. So people were just thinking that Warner had it like ready to go. They just don't want to release it. You know, it wasn't an additional 70 something million to well, you know, there were additional scenes that were done, but still interesting. All right, let's keep going though.
You know, it's just cool. I was like, look at you guys. This is so cool. It's like literally a labor of love. You know, I didn't get paid and I was happy to. When you make something purely for justice, to have it be received well is really the reward. What the fans have done for suicide prevention and mental health awareness, if no movie existed, that would be enough, you know. So when I finished the movie, it was just one of those things where I just felt like,
now you finished
I hope I did enough, you know, for the effort, because it was such incredible effort that the fans put forward. And
that's
yeah,
good.
So I thank them.
There is an abandoned rescue helicopter on top
Here we
of
go.
North Tower, Sodom. If you coordinate and communicate, this should be a simple in and out.
I wrote the story like right after dawn. I probably wrote the story in 2004, you know, to be honest, you know, is when I came up with the idea. And it kind of had bubbled and sort of, it had always been there because I could pitch it really easily. You know, it's like such an obvious thing. It's like, oh, there's a zombie outbreak in Vegas and they wall the city and they leave the zombies inside. You know, I was meeting here at Netflix. I was just talking to Scott Stuber and I mentioned Army and he was like, what about that? What about making that? And I was like, sure, that would be fun. And it's kind of nice. I mean, that's the great thing about Army is that, like, you know, it's original IP and it's just us, you know, making it up in the best possible way.
I thought about
and I think
that.
That's really refreshing for me. The thing about Army of the Dead that I really enjoyed, one of my...
So it's a spiritual sequel then to Dawn of the Dead, because I'm assuming Dawn of the Dead, again, I was trying to find it during this thing, but I always thought Dawn of the Dead was a Warner release, but maybe not. But I guess that makes sense. I've never actually seen Warner ever promoting Dawn of the Dead. So, but that's good. That's good that, and I also thought that it was a kind of a reboot of the Robert Rodriguez Night of the Dead, but I guess it all is kind of an original thing. Interesting. Like you can't copyright zombies, I guess.
My favorite parts of it was shooting the movie as well. And sort of this experience with having the camera be a raw tool in your hand is different than like a directed tool, right? To make those decisions yourself and to like, and the lighting and the time of day and every single aspect of how you're gonna photograph it, and even the intimacy of the cameras and how you photograph, all those things become like really visceral tools in the making of the movie. I was working with a lot of the people I've worked with in the past, you know, who are like top of their game pros. There's a familiarity to it because it's zombies, but they know I know, so that they can let me do my thing.
They know I know.
I don't know if I had an idea about what it would be, but it's been It's been a wild ride. I mean, we just got back from Hawaii. I had 8 days off, so that's plenty for another year probably. I got some projects lined up that I want to get in the shoot. So yeah, I want to shoot.
Okay. I'm surprised he didn't talk about the Owl movie.
Kind of.
Whatever that was. Yeah, because I remember that Legend of the
No, I know.
Guardians, or what was that? What else was that called? I forgot.
Oh, that.
I mean,
they
the
can let
dude's
me do
got
my thing.
such a catalog. It is
I don't know.
very interesting. How do I turn off these annotation things? That, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't want to play it on TV. I just want to. Is this thing? Autoplay is off? Nope. It just doesn't. Okay. Whatever. I wanted to see the rest of it, but World of Swirl, ZZ Top. That's what I want to see, man. That's what I want to see. Yeah, I don't know how to turn off all that other stuff, but okay, cool, man. Yeah, man, like I said, say what you will about Zack Snyder and his vision for the DC, but I've always liked his earlier work. I mean, 300 still remains one of the dopest things I've ever seen. One of the dopest movies I've ever seen, man. Like, that's just something. Like, it works so well for what they're trying to do, right? So, what? Okay, never mind. Jake Paul. Anyways, other than that, though, I'm glad he didn't take really too many shots at WB. It's not that big of a deal, but it's just interesting to me how that all kind of worked out, and how I'm glad that Vanity, they essentially put it together fairly well within a nice 16 minute sort of segment, talking about Zack Snyder's illustrious career. I am very, very excited to check out Army of the Dead. It's good to kind of see him make a break from, you know, the stress that is the WB, but and see him kind of get back to one of the things that made him, you know, make people take notice and such. So let's I really want Zack at Marvel Studios or Sony. Nah, you know, if Zack Snyder can't take direction, if he can't work with Warner Brothers, what makes you think he's going to be able to work with Marvel, where Marvel doesn't give any directors their creative sort of freedom? Like, everybody's following the plan. There is no director's vision with the Marvel world. It's just the plan, right? That's that there. All right, y'all. But, you know, let's take a look. Army of the Dead comes out later this week on Netflix, so I'm looking forward to it. And join me, as we'll probably do a live watch together on Netflix or something like that, and on Twitch. So make sure you're following me. Maybe I'll wear the... You know what? I might actually do the pulse thing. I might actually wear the pulse meter as well, to see how that works. So if you want to see all of that, aka SAN_plays, aka SAN_plays. And we'll talk soon. Peace, y'all.